By going to the Houston Rockets, is Kevin Durant the biggest winner so far of NBA free agency? Things that make you go, on Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty and Freddie Coleman. I'm in for Evan Cohen and Michelle Smallman together on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, the XM Channel 80, as well as ESPNU. But before that, CC, can you try to explain to me why we needed a 7-team trade happening in these times in professional sports, and Kevin Durant a big part of that 7-team trade that allows him to go to Houston and everything else involved in that? Make it make sense to me.
Why you want me to explain it to you? I think it's ridiculous. It ends up being accounting for these teams in an effort to stay under the second apron and avoid the luxury tax and the penalties that come along with it. But, I mean, it's ridiculous that you got to involve 7 teams, 6 players, 1 first-round pick, and 12 second-round picks in order to make this Kevin Durant deal go through. It is absolutely insane to me that that's where we're at in terms of the NBA. And let's be clear, this ain't about player movement right here. This is just about bookkeeping and trying to avoid those luxury tax penalties and teams moving money. That's all this is. It's glorified bookkeeping, accounting, whatever you want to call it. It's ridiculous.
Maybe I need to go get my CPA, my Certified Public Accounting degree, and have a chance to work for an NBA team, because that's where the money really is. If you can decipher those kind of numbers and help out the salary cap in the first or second apron, so be it. Maybe a lot of CPAs out there are going to see an influx in people trying to get those CPA degrees to join the NBA or the NFL or anything whichever league
you got the wrong letters, Freddie. See, that's Chat GPT. I feel like this is an AI generated trade.
Got it.
This is something that you see in the video games when you put it on simulate. Like that's what the NBA did with a 7-team trade to ultimately get Kevin Durant from Phoenix to Houston.
Okay, so
we'll crazy.
We'll change that to Chat GPT and not CPA, but I'm still trying to figure if he's the biggest winner in NBA free agency, if there's a team, organization. He's going to what I believe is the best situation of any free agent that has a chance to go from the Phoenix Suns and land the Houston Rockets team that the second best record in the Western Conference did not have that closer against the Golden State Warriors, who had 2 of them. It's Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. So I don't know if he's the biggest winner, CC. Maybe the Houston Rockets could be determined the biggest winner because they needed somebody like that, and he's still more than a capable closer and efficient scorer that is joining that basketball team that has the right mix of youth and veteran leadership and a pretty damn good coach at Ime Udoka on the sidelines.
Yeah, they check every box in terms of being a championship contender. I think they're eye to eye with the Oklahoma City Thunder now that they have Kevin Durant. And it's going to be great to see able to watch those 2 teams pacing toward winning 65-plus games in the regular season. I think they're both capable of doing that. So it's going to be fun to watch them go at it for Western Conference supremacy and, in all likelihood, what will be the best team in the NBA. So I'm excited for it. I think basketball fans are in for a treat because you're going to see these teams go back and forth in leading toward the inevitable showdown that we're going to get in the NBA playoffs.
Okay, I'll give you another team that I thought really won, the Denver Nuggets. What they were able to do to surround Nikola Jokic. This is now his organization with the Denver Nuggets. Whatever he wanted, whatever he not demanded, but casually nudged.
No, that wasn't casual now.
No,
that wasn't casual.
No, I'm not talking about the coach. I'm talking about
I'm not talking about the coach either. I'm saying in terms of what they needed to do as an organization to put them on par with the Denver Nuggets. To put them on par with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He said it after they lost in 7 in that series. The teams that go on deep playoff runs have a lot of depth.
Yep.
Basically lamenting the fact that his franchise didn't put enough players on the bench that they could trust where the starters didn't run out of gas. So I thought that Nikola Jokic he laid down the gauntlet, even though he stopped short of an ultimatum. He let them know, hey, look, we got to get more trusted depth on this team in order for me to take us where I know we all want to go. And that's exactly what they did. They did upgrade in their starting lineup. They got rid of MPJ, and they ended up getting Cam Johnson for that. I think that's an upgrade specifically on the defensive end of the court. But then you go out and you add some of the other guys, THJ, you end up adding some other players that you can trust Bruce Brown, you bring him back.
Yep.
Jonas Valanciunas, a big that you can use to spell Jokic, maybe play 10 to 12 minutes a game. Those are the types of moves that you have to make within the margins, along with the big trade that they made in MPJ in order to get this team back on the same level and contending with those other Western Conference powers.
Yeah, because they save money. Porter's going to earn $17 million more than Johnson's going to make this season.
Well, that was the money that you needed to go out and get Bruce Brown.
Absolutely.
And the money you needed to go get Jonas Valanciunas. So you needed that money to get you some more players.
Right.
So you
No
used
doubt.
one starter and you essentially turned him into 4 top 7 contributors.
Okay, well, but hold on a second. The sound you hear right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo going, "What? My team can do that for me, or try to do that?" Giannis is. Nikola Jokic said to himself, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to be in the same situation that another guy's in Milwaukee called Giannis Antetokounmpo, where they were the mortgage their future, bringing in Damian Lillard and other players. They said, this is what we're going to go with. Nikola Jokic said, I've seen how that looked. I don't want to just be a one-trick pony either, because like Giannis Antetokounmpo, he has an NBA championship, but his organization fortified him a lot better. We don't know if Giannis is going to come back to Milwaukee, what that's going to look like. Nikola didn't want to go anywhere. Nikola Jokic said, this is where I want to stay. Don't make me leave. Don't make me do that. And here's how I'm going to help you guys. This is what we need this way. My effectiveness is going to be better in the postseason like we've seen in previous seasons. He was able, and you're right, Chris, he didn't gently nudge or suggest. He demanded. And they were able to say, this is how we're going to help you. He was not going to put himself in the same situation that Giannis Antetokounmpo is in right now, and the Milwaukee Bucks are still trying to figure that out to make sure he doesn't think about leaving because they can't fortify that team around him to be a champion again.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the tough part, right? The Milwaukee Bucks were between a rock and a hard place. They had to do something. The buyout for Dame Lillard, I thought was the best of a lot of bad options. But the realities that they're going to face moving forward is that the third biggest cap hit on their books is a player that's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you overcome that in today's NBA. Maybe it helps you mitigate the Dame Lillard injury because he was going to be out this season anyway. But in terms of how that handicaps you moving forward, unless you're willing to spend your way out and pay into the tax because you're in the second apron in future years, I don't know that you're going to be able to add the kind of co-star that's going to allow Giannis to have a elongated window to compete for a title in Milwaukee. Even though the East is wide open, when you got to look at Kyle Kuzma or Miles Turner as your second best player on the team, I don't know how far that team is going, even though they have a top 2 player in the world, and that guy might not be 2. Yeah. So that's the part that I struggle with what the Milwaukee Bucks have done. But I would say this, I'm not going to underestimate the greatness of Giannis. He does have the heart of a champion.
Sure.
This franchise did win a championship in the last half decade, so I'm not going to undersell those things, but I would acknowledge that it is going to be a heavy lift, and there are a lot of non-traditional powers in the Eastern Conference that got a hell of a lot better